And a very welcome to Introduction to Astrology with Liam Jarrett of the Aquarian.tv. This video is going to be an introduction to the houses. Now, we learned how each house has a sign assigned to it. And we learned it this way, but now we're going to go this way. And this is how you'll read your birth chart and the chart of the day. So the sun goes this way instead of like that. Crazy, right? First house, second house, third house, fourth house, and so on. So cardinal fire and the realm of fire, double fire, Aries, first house. When you first show up on the scene, when you're first born, the great I am, how people first see you. When you, whatever sign you has, I got you making up the first house, that is going to be kind of the first impression people get off you often. Now, in esoteric astrology, which is made popular by the Theosophical Society, with members such as Rudolf Steiner, Madame Helena Blavatsky was a big part in starting that, whom I love and adore. She's one of my spirit guides, I think. Your sun is what you're doing right now. Your center, kind of. Your moon, your past karmic, sometimes things we bring with us, good or bad, but mostly stuff we have to work through, our moon sign. Now, our ascendant is what we're to ascend towards. Not many astrologers will dash that in, but when I read a chart, that's why I look to your ascendant, and the qualities of your ascendant are going to want to be the qualities that you're going to want to ascend to and take on more to help in your ascension. Mine's Capricorn. It's actually doing earthly stuff instead of just staying off in the heavens. So cardinal fire, first house, Aries, Mars ruled. Next we're going to go to Venus ruled, Taurus, the constellation Taurus, the second house, the I am, the I have. This is your possessions, your house of wealth. Look at it, how you eat, your eating habits, your senses, what you grab, you touch, those things that you like are in your second house. Third house, Gemini, the communicator, how you communicate, how you talk to small groups, early education, how you... Second house is also self-value. First house, ego kind of stuff. Third house would be your communicative abilities, cognitive abilities as well. Early education, as we said. Siblings. Third house can indicate... You can have a strong third house. You can be really good with your hands. Good educators. Now, fourth house, this is your house of home, your emotional comfort place, also home country. This is where we have the Orion constellation, which makes up lots of our religious myth. Orion is Osiris, is the dying and rising god. Jesus is built into that. We join in the body of Orion. It's the most obvious constellation in the sky, and it walks upon this wheel. The fool on the hill. Day after day, alone on the hill, the man with a foolish grin is telling me to carry on, my wayward son. Fourth house, your relationship with your mother, how you mother, how you need to be mothered, where you get your emotional security from. And next we go to Leo ruled fifth house. This is a fun house of romance. The Leo es muy romántico. Mi amo Liam de Corazon de Leon, my plot of fortunes in Leo. It's asking me to take the stage because you can see how good I am at it. Fifth house is children or just creative projects. Recreation. Speculative gambling. And that's what I could think of it for the fifth house right now. And so when you have planets here, so say I have the moon in the fifth house, that'll be a nice moon to have. Say you have the moon in the fourth house, then you're very emotionally, need to emotionally be at home in your room with a box of tissues, binge watching some BS. Sixth house, ruled by Virgo, is the house of your health, really. I see that a lot. If some people have sixth house issues, they have stomach issues, a poorly aspected moon, or whatever. If they have Venus there, the nefarious Neptune, they're making tough aspects, mysterious illnesses. Also, where you're at service, and your sixth house is small pets. Isn't that cute? Your sixth house is... Oh, there was one more thing that I forgot. I mean, there's so many. I'm just giving you the gist. The seventh house of Libra, scales, where we go to market now. This is all you, and now bam, you're coming out to the other. This is really you, and then this is you starting to go out. Leo, see, the fifth house is the sign of the child. So this is all like your sperm, and this is like the egg. This is the whole process of a life gets born. That's it on a microcosm level, and then the sun on a more macrocosmic level, and then our universe of the whole great year, a macrocosmic level, and it's all fractal, so it all relates as above, so below. How beautiful! So we are truly in the image of God. I hate to say the word God. The etymology of God is goad, which is a goat prod. And it prods you up the goat up the hill for a sacrifice, probably. We've been so put in it's lower in a God spell. And look at this, we're breaking through their spell. Yes. Seventh house, marriage. Just because you don't have any plants there doesn't mean that. It just means that marriage isn't as big as a thing for you in this incarnation. Neither good nor bad, it just is. But then you can have other planets, other aspects that could show marriage. And seventh house, business contracts, because marriage is a wedding contract. Business partnerships. For sake of time, eighth house, Scorpio, sex, taxes, and death. It's a joke, but it's true. Marriage, and then here's you consummate the marriage. That's like the dating stage. That's when Virgo is like, you have to like make sure everything's right for the wedding. And now you have sex. Maybe we should still be doing that. I don't know. Oh, well, you meet up one-on-one, you go on a date. There's Libra. You become intimate. Scorpio. It's also in charge. It's in the fixed sign in the underworld, which is flipped over. That's why Ariana Grande, it was a Kabbalist, and they teach astrology there. And she put her Christmas tree upside down. Maybe teaching her. They know this stuff. They use the symbolism everywhere. The goat symbolism. I mean, come on, my guy. The American eagle, Scorpio. The phoenix, Scorpio. This is the house of death, but then rebirth, spiritual rebirth. The occult, it's hidden. What you do in private, in secrecy. The secretive, mysterious. They even have an M for mysterious. Sagittarius. They would call this the house of God, or just God. Higher learning. Always aspiring, like it's aspiring always to the top. Inspirational. Inspiring others. Looking for higher teachings. Here's Gemini, its opposite sign. Elementary. Advanced. Spiritual studies, usually. Long distance travels. Your spiritual journey. They could also be preachers, teachers, often. So if you have a good amount of planets here, you probably have gotten secondary education. If they're afflicted, you probably had a hard time doing that. You see how this works? 10th house. The goat. Your 10th house is your career, authorities, structures. Capricorn on top of the Capitol Dome on Capitol Hill. In charge of your kneecaps. Like put a cap in your ass. Not there really. But I do. Don't do the job. Not the workaholics. Your legacy, what you leave behind. 10th house. Next we go to the 11th house, the pillars. Tower 1, Tower 2. An arcway into the Aquarian age. They try to break it down. But and the 7 in the middle, the 7 planets. But we're not going to let them do that. From the Pentagon, they're upside down pentagram. But we're not going to let them do that, are we? Because we're learning this. We're not going to let them put us into freaking work camps. That's a very Aquarian type thing. It's the masses, but it could be mass coddling. But we spend a lot of time in our next sign. 11th house, I'm sorry. Riches gained from your career. Large groups of people that you might associate with. So although it's not religious, but if you go to a big church, this is an Aquarian thing. Lots of people gathered on Super Bowl, just a NFL game. Aquarius thing. Also progressive, future, technological type things would be in your 11th house. If you have a lot of 11th house stuff, you could be like a tech person. Use technology to communicate to the masses. Using progressive type stuff. Sorry, I just had a tractor trailer drive through my living room for some reason. 12th house, our final house, and it's just that. Hospitals, insane asylums, lucid dreaming, beautiful mysticalness, creative artness is your 12th house, but also psychological, unconscious, subconscious things. Lots of, if you have 12th house afflicted stuff, that could be drug addicts and often alcoholics. Or really beautiful musicians. 12th house is kind of behind the veil. We are just having an array of different noise-making motor vehicles. Perhaps a helicopter will land on this little shack next. That would be something. That'd be a good way to end this. And so there we have the houses, my friend. I hope you enjoyed this video.